Hello, it's Jay here again, and welcome to another tutorial. So in this lesson we're going to begin work on the options menu. So the reason for this is, as I was planning out the lessons, I realised I was just working out how to break down the GUI for the round counter, and then I thought, well, we're going to need it to scale, and that's going to be part of the options, so we might as well get the options in place now, and then we won't have to redo a lot of the work later, or there would have been a lot of moving code around later on. So I thought, let's just get the options done now, so that's what we're going to do. Now, I've done an options menu before, for those of you that see my previous tutorial. But in this case, we're going to do things slightly different. Obviously, there will be some similarities, probably quite a lot, but there'll be also quite a number of differences. So hopefully those of you that followed the previous tutorial will still find at least some parts of this interesting. So I've created a C# script named options menu. Let's open this up. So we're going to begin, and this time it's going to be right at the very top with a new using statement. So we're going to use Unity engine dot, and we want scene management. So let's get that into place first, and then we'll begin creating some of the variables. We're going to start with public texture 2D, and we'll give this a naming convention of options background. Let's close that line off. We'll put in our usual comments, create slot in inspector, to assign the options background texture. We'll create, this can be of type private, bool underscore, and we'll call this underscore options active. And again, the sort of comment we've used many times, defines naming convention for bool to, let's say, determine if the options are active. Yeah, we'll make this type private. You can always make your public if you want to check anything is working, but we're going to say private scene underscore, and we'll just use scene. Close that off. Let's get this into the comments. Defines naming convention for the current scene, and you'll see why this is necessary as we fill out the rest of the script. But for now, we're going to create a private, and we want rect. Let's give this a naming convention of underscore options rect, and we're going to say it's equal to a new rect. Let's open and close brackets, close that line off. Inside the brackets, we're going to say 0, 0, screen dot width, screen dot height. We'll just break this line up for commenting, so we'll say creates new rect for the options GUI sizing starting at this position by these dimensions. So that's our variables into place. Now we are going to create this as a prefab. So we need to use the don't destroy on load, open and close brackets, close the line off. Inside the brackets we're just going to say this. And let's get this into the comments. Don't destroy this game object when loading a new scene. And we'll also make sure that the options active is equal to false on startup. So let's get that into the comments. Set options active to false on startup. And we've got the basics in place now. We've got some of the variables. We're not destroying the game object the script is attached to. We're making sure it's set to false. Now, I could put this into the void update, but I'm not going to. I'm going to create private void late update. Because this is all that's needed. We don't need to really call once per frame as we do in the void update. Late update will do fine for us. So first of all, underscore scene. So our variable there. So the naming convention for the current scene, we need to make it equal to the current scene. So we need to reference the scene manager dot get active scene. Open and close brackets, close the line off. And we'll say sets underscore scene to equal the current active scene. And this is because we don't want to be able to activate the options menu in certain scenes like the splash screen. For example, we don't really need to be accessing the options menu there. So we're going to say if open and close brackets underscore scene dot name double equals open and close brackets quote marks, and we're going to say splash screen. Now it's probably ideal to come to your scene, hit F2 and copy the naming convention here. It needs to be exactly the same, otherwise this will not work, so just be warned on that. If scene, and we'll put equals the splash screen. In fact, I'll put that into quotes as well. And the usual return statement of then do nothing and return. And we shall copy that. And yeah, let's paste that in twice. So splash screen. I also don't really want to access the options during the controller warning. So let's swap out the name here. And here also. So let's just tidy everything up. And the choose character screen, really don't need to be accessing the options there. Basically, all I want to be able to activate the options during the main menu and during gameplay in case you need to, with probably via some pause scripts, which I've done before. Again, I'll try and make it a little bit different to what I've done before, so those of you who have followed both tutorials will at least get something different. So with that in place, let's save that off. That's all the basic things in place. And let's come to prefabs. We'll create a prefab. And we'll just call this Options Manager. We'll add our options script to that. Now, I've just created a plain red background, which I'm going to assign now. Obviously, you can use any one you wish. I'm using red for the simple reason just to differentiate between the black that I'm already using, so you can see it working. Obviously we need more code in the script before we can test and see it working, but again, as I say, this is just for testing. And let's drag and drop that onto our splash screen. And we'll just save. And we'll leave it here for this video. We've got all the basics in place. And we'll pick this up in the very next lesson. So, as always, I hope you enjoyed this lesson. I hope to see you next time. And until then, as always, bye for now.